Mac had given you a shout out in his latest video today.
Did he?
Yeah, at the end, just said shout out to my boy Kerr Viajante.
I gotta check out his stuff. Lee Mac's a good guy. He's shut up because I'm a good person. Can't you just accept that?
Yes, but was he?
Do I have to do something specifically to get a shout out?
Usually, like reviewers.
Come on, Kevin, just tell us I'm a good person overall.
No, that's it. Lee Mac only shouts out people he likes. That's it. There's no reason.
Interesting.
He just shout out to my boy, my girl, whatever. He just shout out. That's just nothing more, nothing less.
No rhyme or reason. Just
Look at Kevin taking this opportunity to shamelessly plug Trash Panda.
Yeah. So
you should have it listed as Kevin the Raccoon with one C.
Kevin Raccoon.
Well, Kevin Raccoon would be one C. Kevin the Raccoon would be two C's.
Kevin Raccoon.
Kevin Raccoon.
And then we should all be animal names tonight.
You know what? I got to learn how to play it, and I got to redo the song Rocky Raccoon.
Yeah.
Kevin Raccoon stepped into his room only to find his humidor.
I think that would be great.
That would be
so
great.
What's my animal name? We decided that I am the bunny, which is like evil, kind of like from a couple different.
Well, since I have no escape from where I'm sitting, I'm not going to say what's in my mind.
What's my first name?
Jen. You know what? Honestly, you're the fucking Jersey Devil. That's what you are.
Tasmanian Devil.
No, the Jersey Devil. You just are.
Yeah.
That's a myth. There really isn't a Jersey
Oh no, there
Devil
is. There is.
Yeah.
I live with her here.
Like Cthulhu and Skylar. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Skylar's running. You want to go out?
I gotta write some words to that.
We already decided you're a gorilla because you scare the deer.
Yeah.
Joe claims that like when Joe goes out there, they wag their little tail, and I said, "Well, they see you as a gazelle, Joe." I feed them, so I'm their like food store.
Yeah.
Kerr goes out there, and they see a giant gorilla about to attack.
Joe's a yearling to them.
Yeah. Like, no threat right there. No threat at all.
With his hair. Hey, look, they're not doing anything.
Yeah. Why aren't they running? So
Kerr goes. They stomp. They snort. They take off.
Do they?
Oh, one time I turned the corner, and I was like literally, I don't know, 20 feet from the freaking female deer.
Ellie.
Yeah.
And the mama. And she just looked at me, and I looked at her, and I went, and I waved, and she went, boom, she starts stomping her hoof.
That's what bears do. They wave. Have you seen that? She thought you were a goddamn bear.
Yogi Bear.
Well, after she did that, she snorted, and when I turned around, I heard galloping. So I was not sure if it was towards me.
Yeah.
Away from me.
No way I'm turning my back.
I ran into the garage, and I was like, motherfucker, if I hear it on cement, it's going to be freaking, I'm going to dive into the bushes.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. So, man in nature. It's like that guy that got those people that keep getting gored by the buffalo and
Second
Yellowstone.
Person.
Like the one threw the guy in a tree or something. I'm like, oh, it's
shouldn't
awesome.
Get that close
they
to
should.
him.
No, that one girl that did the selfie and she kept getting closer and then it gored her. And I'm like, oh, it's so awesome. I was so rooting for the buffalo
people.
Every
Very
time.
Dumb people.
That's because it's this fucking, I don't know. We can start when we do our fucking intro here, but I've people are just so stupid, and the problem is.
All right, well, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
Oh, I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr, and we are
the Broadleaf
Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
Taking a selfie with the buffalo. So
don't get gorged.
A few years ago, I was it was a while back. I was kind of like going through this whole phase where I was watching different movies, and I watched Idiocracy from the makers.
I haven't seen that yet. Yeah,
and I watched it before like anybody had really caught on to the fact that this is. It almost seems like it is a freaking true to life biography of what is going on, or documentary rather, not biography, a documentary of 2020, plus. It is just so real. It's like stupid people are the ones who are reproducing, and the smart people are not. And it is just so real because being stupid and doing stupid shit has just been normalized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it's the whole, because back when all three of us were growing up, I mean, I know we're all different ages, but still, when we were growing up, if something dumb happened to you, you didn't sue somebody, you didn't close down a business, nobody felt sorry for you.
You're embarrassed. You're actually fucking embarrassed, bro.
Like,
you didn't video record it.
Yeah, you won't do that again, will you? No, I won't. Now they get gored by a buffalo and they want to sue the park. Why didn't you tell me? You know what? This isn't my fault. It's not my fault.
Well, there's no accountability whatsoever.
It would have never gotten that level, because if that ever happened to you, first of all, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, everybody would have freaking beat your ass for being so stupid. So not only would you be gored, but then you'd have freaking the family beating you, and freaking now it's called shaming. Back when I was growing up, it was called a freaking reality check. It was not shaming. It was literally like, hey, listen, idiot. You know what? That's a fucking wild animal. You have food. You have this in your hand. You're getting close to it. They're going to attack you. You're going to run the risk. And if you get attacked, then you get what you deserve. And that was so much. When I was younger, we used to go upstate to my grandfather's hunting cabin. And that was our summer. We didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't do beaches, and everybody else goes on Disney and stuff. It was like the whole family's going to go up for 2 weeks to the hunting cabin. That's where our family's going to go. And we just lived in the outdoors. And toughing it back then was no TV, no radio, no phone. Yeah. That was toughing it back then. And we literally had this big rock that we used to take all of our freaking leftover food and put it on. It was far away from the camp. And then at night we put the spotlight on it and see what animals are out there. And then you go out there and get adventurous. And the conversation was always, listen, if you go out there, there's raccoons and stuff, but bear do like to freaking come out to that rock and feed sometime. And you are going to get attacked. Don't be stupid. My grandpa, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
That was, now it seems like people will record it proudly, and then they sue or they post, and then they want to get the warriors, whatever freaking insert freaking whatever it is that you're fighting against this freaking day or week, and get people to rally around. And there's just not enough people going, hey, you know what, you dumbass? Like I told you today. Hey, dummy, the cop pulls you over and they ask for your license registration. Give it to him.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
Not. But I'll go back for 1 second. Your grandfather, which would have been my grandfather too, that was the last generation of survival of the fittest. Now even Big Tony, his generation, safety started coming in. Car seats, padded dashboards.
Well, because the grandparents
all that bullshit.
That was Depression era.
Yeah. So
my grandfather, literally, we were talking about our family trees earlier, right? My grandfather on my mother's side, there was like 7 of them, boys, right? Their mother left them, and they were being raised by their father, who tried to freaking light their wood stove and put kerosene in it and exploded, and he was on fire and he died. Orphaned 7 boys in the Depression. So they kind of went their own separate ways. They grabbed like my grandfather and a couple of his brothers went one way, a couple went another. They lived in freaking box cars. They begged for food. They ate freaking, raw food. I mean, you're talking about, like you said, when you say survival, it's not like it is now. It's freaking 7, 8, and 12-year-old kids living on the train tracks, living in freaking boxcars, and begging for food and working. That's what they did.
And working in factories with machinery and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Rip your fucking arm off. You know, it's literally 7, 8 years old. 10. Yep. They did. Yeah, everybody. So that was the last generation of survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
You either made it to adulthood, your grandfather, or you didn't. If you didn't, there were circumstances that was out of your control.
Right.
But just survival of the fittest. Big Tony had a little nicer life. My dad, your dad, was a little.
It's a little bit. I mean, my dad did.
Easier.
Yeah, my dad. It was kind of like when you're raised by freaking parents who lived through that. Yeah. It's my dad would tell me, Grandpa, good old Grandpa here. That's him back in 1938 sitting on a bumper, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably say about 30 years later, he's throwing around the belt, buckle end, buckle end, it's and that's what they dealt with. It was, it was a different generation, but I always laugh when they talk about Generation X being raised by baby boomers who were raised by freaking depression survivors. And then also Generation X being introduced into technology. So you kind of have this feral way, as they say in these videos, of being raised and, being out in the streets. And I subscribed to that guy that you'd sent me. Let me tell you the tale of the Saturday morning cartoons. I mean,
oh my God, that guy is
brilliant. Have you seen that?
No.
I got to send it to you. This guy just tells these tales like an old Englishman, but it's like, let me tell you of the fountain that we drank from. It was the hose, and the young, stupid, they would go first and they would be scalded by the experienced would then
letting
drink.
The hose run.
Oh my God.
And, the first one I saw was the telephone book, and it was just.
Oh, I heard you listening to it because I heard the holes in the dial, and I realized you're listening to something about a telephone.
You must get the holes in the dials accurate or start over.
Yeah, you gotta go back and watch them all, Jen. The guy is hilarious. But yeah, just the way he tells that. But yeah, it's and then now we're in the generation of, it's the job is to go viral so you don't have to work.
Yep.
That's everybody's goal, is to go viral. And then, because I take a lot of online courses, watch a lot of classes on how to up the social media game. And people our age, their goal is just creating an extra income,
right?
To subsidize your, they're never talking about going viral. When I'll watch something from a younger, you just go viral. All you need is that one video. You can quit your day job and you can do this. And I'm like, but for how long?
Yeah.
How long? I said, I do it as a side hustle on my side hustle to make a few extra bucks. But yeah, it's all about.
Kevin's frozen.
Kevin, are you getting storms?
Kevin does it as a side hustle.
And it just
is it?
And that is definitely something. I need a snapshot.
Yeah, it was because
shit.
Oh, you
back. Froze.
You were frozen in such a great
you froze at side hustle, and I was just getting ready to take a screenshot because I learned from you.
Oh, see, I was real clear and moving, and you froze up on my side.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you got all blurry, and then and I saw you lurch, and then that's like where you were frozen,
Well, I turned off Wi-Fi, and I'm wondering if that did anything to do with it, because
it might be storming out there, but yeah.
If this worked, because we should be hooked directly up. Are you there?
I hear his ice.
All right, there you are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I basically just turned off Wi-Fi, so we're directly hotlined up just in case it was from our end.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I heard you stopped the side hustle.
Side hustle.
Yeah. That's all. That's my goal. And people that I watch that are giving courses on how to increase followers and using the proper hashtags. That's what they always promote. How to increase your side business,
right?
But the youngers, it's all about quitting your job and just being famous. And it's like, what? Don't tell people that, because what is the lifespan of some of these?
Yeah,
because they don't want to work. It's literally so much easier to sit at home and make videos and do this and do that.
Lazy and entitled.
And it's just, it's amazing. It blows my mind. But Kevin, I sent Kevin a message. I'm like, I love watching these videos of people just getting dragged out of their cars by the cops, because they're just, it's like everybody automatically now, because they have the internet, now they become a constitutionalist. You know,
yeah,
and it's like, you know, and then what ends up happening is the cops then try and reciting. Most of the cops know their shit, but there's a couple of them that are that try and explain something, and you know, because the body cams and the camera, they just want to say, listen, just don't be a fucking dickhead. Just give me your fucking license and registration, and stop being an asshole. But it's like, well, I'm this and I'm that, and then they're like, no, you're not. They're like, this cop, he said that he cited this law, and that's not really, don't have to do that. It's like, man, you know what?
I watch a couple of TikTok channels. One of them is Audit the Auditor, and he grades on both sides of it. You know, but then it'll be like settled for $75,000. He sued this town for $100,000. Right. And yes, the cop, in I would say 75% of the situations, the cop was wrong in how he proceeded, or sometimes it's just flagrant lying. But a lot of it, 99% could have been avoided. Just tell the cop your name. He's like, hey man, why are you filming out here? Hey, I'm just a member of the media. I have a right. You know, can I get your name? No, I don't have to tell you that. Just, hey, my name's Kevin Shahan.
Right.
Here's my license. I have a right to film. I'm not hiding anything, you know? So, and then the cop been like, cool, man. I know who you are now. Just have a nice day. But no, it turns into this lawsuit.
Well, that's why they do it. Is
yeah. Oh,
lawsuit. Yeah. And I can tell you, I've seen good cops. I've seen bad cops.
Yeah.
And you say 75% of the time, it's the cops that didn't do it. And everything I'm looking at is 90% of the time, it's the person just being difficult.
Well, it is.
And then you have the cops who don't know how to handle someone who's being a jackass or being difficult.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, when I say that, I'm not blaming it on the cops. I'm like,
I know what you're saying.
The cop will cite a wrong statute, or he'll believe, and then that's what hooks him in court.
Right.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So
it's best just to say, listen, here's the reason why I pulled you over. Now, if I pull you over, I'm asking you for XYZ. If you do not provide me with XYZ, then you are in violation of XYZ. And just stick to that narrative. I had a cop tell me that one time. It was a long time ago. I did my preceptorship with the police department down in Dover. And I had a ride with these guys for a month. And it was like, it's real simple. I just need this because I suspect this. And I suspect this because I observed this. At that point, any other conversation that's being had is too much. If you're engaging them in laws, regulations, this and that, you're just going to go down a freaking rabbit hole. If you're not going to be willing and cooperative, then I'll just freaking arrest you, or I'm going to cuff you and we'll find out what's going on. You're being difficult, especially if you have probable cause or if you observe something like the one girl was driving down the freaking street the wrong way. And cops like, I need your license registration. Why are you pulling me over? Because you're going down the street the wrong way. But why are you pulling me over? Because you're going down the street the wrong way. I need your license and registration. And I saw the cop was completely wrong on this because he went right to the roll your window down or I'm going to smash your window in and drag you out. That is the last resort. You don't use that one up front.
Yeah.
It's just like, listen, just let me speak and then you can speak. Here's the deal. You're going down this one way the wrong way. That's a violation. I need your license and registration. And then we can talk about the citation and why you're going down the wrong way, if it's late night work, whatever she was saying. If you don't do that, then I'm going to have no choice but to arrest you for freaking XYZ. You know, if you're not being cooperative, obstruction of justice, whatever they want to say. But if there's a probable cause, then that's the narrative the whole time.
Yeah. I think last time I got pulled over, it's been a while, man, over a year. I think Jessica was with me, maybe 2 years, and I've been pulled over so many times. Before the cop even gets out of his car, I roll all the windows down and I make sure my hands are on the steering wheel, right up top, just so it's where you can see them. And
are you speeding? Like, why are you get pulled?
Yeah, it's always speeding. It's always speeding, and I always get out of it because I'm always friendly. You know, last 2 times I was pulled over with speeding, but the last time, all the windows are down. He comes up, he's like, "Hey, you know why I pulled you over?" I go, "Speeding," and he just kind of chuckled, younger guy, and he's like, "License registration," so gave it to him. He came back, he goes, "I only wrote you a warning." He goes, "I appreciate when you were coming." It was a speed trap. I slowed down at the wrong, just not quick enough. And he goes, "When you came through, my partner had someone pulled over on the side of the road. I saw you change lanes beforehand and slowed down." He goes, "I appreciate that, man." And gave me a warning. Yeah. You know, just little things. Every time I've been, cooperative
and polite.
That's it. Just, you don't have to admit anything, but just don't be a dick.
No.
You don't have to say, "Yeah, I know I was speeding." Just be like, here's my stuff.
Well, last time I got pulled over with Jen, and I was in the Ultima, which automatically I got pulled over in Virginia one time, and
you were with me.
Can I finish my story?
Sorry.
Thank you. I got pulled over in Virginia one time, and I know why I got pulled over because it looks freaking a suspect car. But last time I got pulled over with Jennifer, and we were in Greer, and we left. See, it's amazing what happens if I get to finish my thought. I think we were at like Starbucks or Dairy Queen or something.
Yeah,
and I pulled out, and the cop pulls me over, and I'm like, "What the F did I do?" Like I didn't even. So I pulled over. He comes walking up. I could have been like, "What the fuck?" I mean, same thing. Like I said, windows open. Here's the license registration. How you doing, sir? I'm like, he goes, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "Honestly, officer, I have no idea why." He's like, "You changed 2 lanes and you never use a turn signal. You went in the one lane and you got in the other lane." I'm like, "Man," I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I thought I put my turn signal on." I said, "I clicked over." I said, "I had to get over real quick because there wasn't a lot of room between where I pulled out and my turn I had to make." I'm like, "I'm sorry." I said, "Honestly, I would not want to do something like that." He came back. He's like, "Look, I could have written you up for 2 different citations for 2 freaking lane violations. Here's your warning. Have a great day." But it was every single time I've been pulled over by the police. I think I was a dick once, and I was young, and it was something completely different when I was still in college, and I had been drinking, and I didn't want to drive home, so I walked home, and I ran across the highway, and the cop pulled up, and he's like, "Hey, you just ran across the highway." I'm like, "Yes, I know. I've been drinking. I didn't want to drive home." He goes, "Well, that's a violation." I'm like, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "Turn around." And he cuffs me. I'm like, "What?" And this cop was known for being a little bit of a freaking, sticky cop. I'm like, "I'm trying to do the responsible thing." I said, "Can you take me home?" He goes, "I'm not a fucking taxi cab service." I go, "Well, obviously you're not a police officer either because," and then, that whatever real well.
I've been pulled over twice. I blew twice over the limit. Twice, and I got let go both times. Being nice, first time, cop's like, "Where are you going?" I was like 2 blocks down from friends of mine's house. Just going to this house to where I'm spending the night. He goes, leave your car right here with my truck at the time and give them a call. And they came, picked me up. Cop gave me a ticket for speeding because I was speeding, and then let me go. Second time, I pulled into my buddy's driveway, his parents' house. I had never met his parents, and cops flashed up lights, blew twice over the limit, or almost twice, I think, that time. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is where I'm staying for the night." So his parents, they had to help me inside. I was young and just inebriated. So they put me on their back porch, and I threw up all over their back porch. And this is the first time they met me. And it was rough. Third time, I wasn't drunk. I'd had a few drinks.
Oh my God.
Kevin just has a breathalyzer in his car.
I had a few drinks, and actually in my car right now, I still have the little tube from my very first breathalyzer. They give you that tube, so I still have that in my car as a reminder.
Is that with your egg?
Next to the egg? Yeah,
next to the egg. So the third time, and get pulled over, and there's a bottle of Bacardi on the seat rolling. It wasn't open. It was completely sealed. I had gotten it from a party, and the cop and I knew I was good because the cop that pulled me over, I'm like, I'm going to jail. And he actually came back to the window and threw my license inside the car, threw the registration inside the window. And he said, go home. And he goes, you're lucky you got someone looking out for you tonight. So a couple days later, Officer Nick, they called him Nick at Night. He gives more. Well, I think he's retired now. Gave more DUIs in our city than any other cop. Like all the cops combined, his father was killed by a drunk driver.
Right.
So he has a vendetta against DUIs.
Mm-hmm.
He was a customer of my shop, and he was on duty that night, and he heard my name, and he saw where I was at, and it was like 3 houses down from my house, and he called it in and said, "Hey, let him go." So.
Have you been pulled over and did a breathalyzer?
Nope, never. I've only gotten a speeding ticket. I'm as vanilla comes.
I've never
Trust
had
me,
a blow.
I've had my concerns of driving into New York City, and certain bars you could go to underage. And looking back, thank God Route 3 that goes through the Meadowlands is pretty straight. I don't know how we made it home, but no, thankfully I've never been pulled over.
Yeah.
I mean, how we all didn't die as kids either.
I really don't.
How did we survive?
I tell you what.
And everyone crashed at my house because my parents were like, just, as long as they don't make a mess. And they'd be, I don't know how many times the hose would come out once we get home at whatever hour in the early morning, to hose off the puke on the side of the vehicles.
I was going to say, the party I want to go to, get to Jen's house.
The hose. Like the hose.
Yeah. As Pop pops up at 4:30 in the morning, and we're like, hey.
Well, there was one time I was I must have been in high school. It was because I had my 2-door Chevy Chevette, and a buddy of mine, I think I was a senior in high school. We had been drinking, and we had 2 6-packs in the back seat, and we had already probably drank 2 6-packs.
Yeah.
And we were driving down through, and behind me, boom, the lights go on. Now, he's turning around trying to hide the beer, and you can hear the empty beer cans at his feet clanging around. He puts the back seat down, which, like, now here's your 6-pack, here's the seat. It was the worst hide job in the planet.
Because you thought cops were dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. I pull over, he blows by us and turns the lights off and keeps on going.
Get out.
I sat there. Just my heart was I'm sick to my stomach. And I said, that's a sign, bro. We got to go back to my house. We're just gonna go back and hang out in the woods or whatever. I'm like, nah. That was.
And there you go. Even hanging out in the woods as kids, would you let Joe go hang out in the woods overnight at a party?
No.
No, we did all the time.
Oh yeah.
It was sick.
There was a quarry nearby. That was a big,
swim in the quarry. Yep.
Going to the mountains.
Yeah, now it's like I'm gonna go to the swimming pool. Okay, just be safe. Back then it was like, hey, we're going to the quarry. Okay, be safe. Little did you know.
Yeah, see you on Monday.
Well,
but yeah.
I was in college and I worked at a nightclub, and I was working late, and we close. And we'll have a beer or two when we're closing, and everything else. And then sometimes we'll hang out a little bit later and drink a little bit more. And I had a couple of beers. My dad had this 2-door freaking Ranger that was like, it was one that the electric company, it was an electric company vehicle that they painted blue and white. So when you opened it up, it had yellow doors on the inside, like an auction car. It looked like one of the Napa cars, just missed a hat on top.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at a red light, like less than a mile from my apartment. I looked at my rear view mirror. I'm like, this guy's not stopping. So I freaking at a red light, I hit the gas. I start moving up, and this guy hits his brakes and then hits me from behind. So I'm in the back seat of the cop car with this guy, and he hit me. I was not. I mean, I'm at a red light.
Yeah.
And the cop asked for his registration. He goes, guys leave. The cop goes, now, how do you think this guy feels with, sit here in the back car? He goes, I can smell the booze on you right now. I said, I work at a nightclub. I smell like booze because I'm covered in it.
Yeah. You wring my shirt out and get a
Yeah.
drink.
And this is one of the other times, a little bit of a dick. And he's sitting there. I go, he hit me. I was at a stop. I was red light, not moving. He rear-ended me. Why are you busting my balls? He goes, recite your ABCs. I go, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And he goes, don't be a smart ass. I go, do you want me to do a breathalyzer? I said, I'll do a breathalyzer. I said, but this is fucking ridiculous. I got hit from behind. I smell like booze because I started work at 6 and I ended at 1:30. And I've been freaking schlepping alcohol around all day, all night. I smell like alcohol because of that. But he would not let it go. He's being a little bit of a dick about it.
Yeah, the last cop that I dealt with that was a dick, and it was in New York. And we went to see the Statue of Liberty. So really New Jersey, I guess then. New York likes to claim the statue. But we're pulling up. We go into this this one parking lot like it was full or something, and the person at the booth goes, "You see that parking lot right there? Like there's a cop right there. Just go park. You can park there." So we pull around and we go over there and we go to pull in. The cop starts freaking out. Where are you going? Oh, we're just going to park here. We're going to go up to the memorial. Whatnot. You can't park here. Why are you parking? I'm like, oh, that dude, that little thing said to park over here. No, he didn't. He knows better than that. And I go, yeah, he did. And he goes, pull around. We're going to go over there. If he doesn't say that he told you to park here, I'm giving you a ticket. I'm towing your car, this and that. And it was a rental car. And I'm like, whatever, dude. And so we went over there, and a cop came out of the little hut, all pissed off, just walked right by me. I'm like, fuck you, being a dick for no reason.
Well, I was living in Pittsburgh, and I got a company car, and it was a former manager in New York. So it had New York plates on it, which was one of the best freaking having that. I had an Explorer, and a great story how I completely mind fucked my brother because of it. But I had this red Explorer with New York plates on it, and I covered upstate New York. I had a couple reps who worked for him there. So I'm like driving down the road in Buffalo, like I get pulled over. I'm like, what the fuck? And I get my license registration. I roll down the window. I go, why are you pulling me over? This cop goes, are you fucking stupid? You drive right fucking by me on the fucking phone? It's against the fucking law. You should know better. And I go, I'm from Pennsylvania, not from fucking New York. There wasn't a fucking sign when I entered the fucking state saying, hey, don't use your fucking cell phone. And he came back and he threw like you said, threw my shit at me, threw the freaking a ticket at me, and he just fucking walked, and he pissed off. He just stomped away. And then I thought about it. I'm like, he probably was. I can understand why he was pissed, because in New York, you have to use headsets. You can't use your phone. Here I am with a New York plate right by him with a big set of balls on the phone. I'm like, I just rolled in from Pennsylvania about 3 hours ago there, tough guy. I mean, but he was screaming at me when he came up to the window.
Did you used to watch Live PD?
I never heard of that, Live PD.
What? Oh my gosh, Kevin.
No. What is that?
I'm not even going to bother going on next. So
it's basically Cops.
It's going to be back with a different name.
Have you ever seen Cops?
Yeah. I've seen there's like 800 different versions of Cops.
But the
TV.
original, do you remember the bad?
Oh
boys?
Yeah.
It's just like that, but it's live, and it's certain areas around the U.S.
Oh they had maybe that. I didn't know that was called. They did like Tampa.
There were two different counties. Miami-Dade, I think.
Miami-Dade was one.
And then there was another one.
I think Tampa was one, and then
there's like some.
We had Richland County.
Area.
Richland County down.
I thought it was like Cops and then a different city.
No.
Maybe
Cops. They would just kind of show you incidents. This was like they'd go back and forth.
Around.
Yeah.
from like, okay, we're going to take you live to Richland County in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, it was live.
They
Oh,
just-
see, the one I saw wasn't live. It was recorded.
No, it was live. It was
but
awesome.
it was from Tampa, and they did a Miami. So this one
No.
was a
Yeah,
live.
Yeah.
Therefore, it
Really?
was called Live
Yeah,
PD.
it's live PD.
Live
Yeah.
PD. So it is coming back, and they just changed the name. They took it off the air because of
After the whole cops thing with
the whole cops thing.
what's his
Oh,
face
yeah.
out, yeah.
You guys just had
Minnesota.
Yeah, I saw you
No,
guys.
not Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah, something like that.
No,
yeah,
not Wisconsin.
you guys just had a
Chicago?
bunch of demonstrators in Greenville there. I saw.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, we had demonstrators in Greenville.
Yeah,
the whole Robies versus Wade.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
I saw that on made it on TikTok. Greenville's famous.
Yeah, a couple people.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're only supposed to have 100 people. Ended up being close to 700. There were some arrests, and
Yeah.
But yeah, the live PD they have down in Richland, and people.
they're great.
Whenever
Oh
people
my
like
gosh,
talk
they're
about it's really funny. It's like I have never seen more people driving vehicles that are uninsured in my life than South Carolina. It's like everybody. It's like license registration. Yeah, here I don't have insurance.
I don't have any of those. Yeah,
I don't have any insurance. Not insurance.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult to do it live though, because man, like I said, what are the odds something's going to be happening?
Oh, it's a lot. They have a lot of crews out there. It was freaking
Yeah.
awesome. We loved watching it.
Yeah, I
Friday
think
nights
there's
at
a
8
little bit of a
o'clock. Our life is
delay,
boring.
obviously, to it, but it was like,
Sheriff Lamb out in Texas.
Yeah, there's a guy out in Texas
He's
who
big now.
he reminded me of what's his face from Duke Cigars.
Jake Nobles.
Jake Nobles, like real big cowboy hat. Actually looked like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is
He
what
did
it
look
reminded
like
me of.
Stone
That's what it
Cold.
was, not idiot.
Not idiot.
Yeah. But yeah, I fucking, it'd be like, Sheriff Lamb has, a fugitive that they're looking for in the woods. Well, oh my gosh, let's take you really quick to Richland County. They're chasing someone who's suspected of a DUI, and they plunged their car into the river, and then they're just like trying to save them. Like, oh, let's go over to
Like Maricopa,
Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah.
And it was like, they went to serve a warrant, and the person's inside, so they have the whole place surrounded, and it's literally like these 8 cops surrounding this freaking house in what you would expect a trashy Arizona, like it's all desert with like this freaking shitty house.
Someone had a pet turtle.
Just
on
like,
me.
like
No, that was
hey,
Las Vegas.
we know you're in there. Come on out.
Yeah.
I mean, don't make us come in. Come on out. We know you're in there.
Yeah, it was Vegas area. It was great. I loved it. Washington State was some up there.
Connecticut.
Oh yeah,
Connecticut.
There was some.
Yeah. When it comes back on, you'll have to let us know. Remind us.
Oh,
Just
God.
Google and watch like the
Yeah.
old episodes. So freaking awesome.
Live PD, and then they always had
They
on.
were in Greenville for a while too.
Yeah, they were in Greenville. They
Over at
had
the
I can't remember the guy who was the host, but then he always had 2 other like cops in there. One was like a detective.
I can't remember the guy.
Oh,
The other one was
like giving commentary or analyst.
Yeah. And it was like, it was great. It was this fucking one guy was like a detective. He just like, yeah, you know what? The officer handled that beautifully because that guy was just a moron. You don't do stuff like that. It was like they were just so blunt and
Dan
blatant.
Abrams.
Dan Abrams. Yeah, it was
the host.
It was freaking, and there was a guy down in Richland County here in South Carolina that reminded me of that the guy he died a few years just recently. Tiny, the actor, the big black guy who played Zeus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tiny Zeus Lister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he looked like him. Like he was
He
jacked,
was freaking
big, like,
ginormous.
leg arm. He was
Yeah.
like freaking huge, and it was, oh my god, the shit that was.
I love when they got the canines out and they're freaking chasing them and just show the dog taking the person down.
Oh yeah,
I love the series.
I love the dog ones. I love when the officer just hits that remote control and that door. He's like, I'm not. Well, the suspect be like, what are you gonna do about it? Click. The door comes open. Soon as people see a dog, people change their fucking tune.
you have exactly. My best buddy from college was he retired now, but he was head of the K9 unit in Wilmington, and he's like, people run their mouth as soon as they see the dog. It's like, like they freaking, because, and he goes, I tell him, hey, Dog's like a Terminator. You can't reason with it. They're not. You can't negotiate.
Oh
with
yeah,
it. They don't care how you feel.
I don't fear getting tased, maced, shot with a rubber bullet. I mean, I do, but I would take all of that versus having a dog. Because the dog is going to wreck your day.
Oh, it's 100%.
Oh yeah, you're not getting away from a dog bite.
No.
Without any like
Firmness?
long-term issues.
It's like, dude, just whatever you do, just don't stick the dog on me.
Yeah.
My buddy always used to be like, "Hey, if you're in the area, you come down. We'll put you in the attack suit." I'm like, no. I'm like, you were the biggest ball buster. I said, I know you. You'll put me in a suit. The dog will attack me, and then you'll say, "Okay, it's time for lunch." I said, I'm not stupid. I freaking trust you.
Oh my god.
I watch these videos, and I've never seen more people just so proud to be so defiant and stupid, and then feel entitled that it's okay, and then it's wait, what is the one thing that we'd seen it on live PD a few times, the people who always claim to be the citizens of the Commonwealth or whatever, there's that group of people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, where the rules apply to
no
them.
rules apply to them
Exactly
because they
what
claim
they
to be
are.
just a citizen of
Yeah.
the land or whatever the hell it is. And then they're sitting there and go, "My rights." It's like,
and then there's just not enough good footage of the good cops, like the good one where it was a couple of cops come up to the kids. They were playing basketball on the road. And the kids, started getting a little mouthy, and the cops were like, "Hey, man, we're not here to bust your chops. When you see a car, just do us a favor and just get out of the road." Then started playing basketball with the kids, and then the cop asked why there was no net on the hoop, and the kid's like, "Oh, we can't afford to get one." So then a couple days later, they come back with Shaq, and that brand new basketball hoop, and so you see those stories occasionally. I'm like, yeah, those are the good cops, and I really believe there are more of those, 100 to 1 than the bad cops, but
there are. I worked with I when I did my rotations with the police.
Sovereign citizen.
That's right. There's there you had your stereotypical cops. Was like, I worked with one guy where we'd drive to the 7-Eleven. He'd flirt with the girl, and I'd hang out in the car for like an hour. And then he'd come out and he'd go, "I got to go to my buddy's house. We're going hunting." He'd go to his buddy's house and hang out for like an hour, and I'm like, "Gosh, man, you're doing such a great job here." And then I'd work with another cop that's like, "All right, man, let's go." And we would go into the bed area. We'd go into the project area, and we'd walk through the freaking crack houses, the housing. It was the most disgusting, saddest thing I've ever seen. You walk up. It was like a dorm room, like apartments. Open it up, spray painted walls, crack vials all over the place. Walk up the steps. We're walking down the halls. Everybody, apartment doors open. Everybody's walking back and forth. Kids running around. "Hey, officer. Hey," I won't say his name because he's. And then I'm dressed like in khakis and a polo shirt, so they think I'm undercover. They're like, "How you doing, officer?" He's like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey, listen, guys," and then he sees a couple underage kids sitting there with some 40s, and he's like, "Hey." He's like, "Get in and close the door." He's like, "Just get in and close the door." Like, "All right, hey man, thanks, officer." So just he could have freaking arrested him. Could have been a dick, walking down through, and you could tell that they respected him because he wasn't a dick. He wasn't a ball buster. He's and I worked with a couple of cops like that, and. It, like you said, I mean, they don't. I think there's more good cops than bad ones. And I dated a girl in Pittsburgh whose ex-husband was not one of the good ones,
Yeah.
And it's like you one person like that just one bad apple, they said, spoils the barrel. It's true, because then that's what gets all the media play.
That's it. I was just reading yesterday or the day before, Chicago is another big business had pulled out, and they're leaving Chicago. They said, the cops are quitting. They say they're down 1,000 cops because they started like to defund the police. They're not hiring new cops. The governor, what is it, Lori Lightfoot? Is that their weird
clue.
Beetle? Yeah, I think she's the Beetlejuice looking governor.
Right.
Or she's either a governor or police chief. She's something, whatever she is. But businesses are fleeing, cops. And then they say the crooked cops, they have like these gangs of like these crooked cops, and nobody's doing anything about them, because they have immunity now. And it's just,
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's, I was watching, talk about TikTok, when they talk about where the U.S. ranks in number of murders in the world. And we rank like, I don't know, like top 30, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, and they said, if you remove these 5 cities, it was like, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, they named, like, if you remove these 5 or 6 cities, we fucking fall to like next to, the top, the bottom 10% or 5%.
Yeah.
And they have the toughest gun laws.
Oh, yeah. New York's already trying. They're expecting. Because the Supreme Court just ruled basically against New York. I think that was their last case that they announced, and so now the governor of New York is already trying to enact new laws to bypass what the Supreme Court said, and they said they expect that to be challenged on Tuesday, first thing. But it's they don't care.
No.
No,
it's sad. I mean, it really is. But I like TikTok. I think it's funny. There's a lot of great things on there and some pretty cool stuff. But like you said, we're going to have a big group of individuals that when they get to be adults or even deeper into adulthood, they're going to get to the point where they're going to be like, what am I going to do?
That's
like,
it.
What am I? They're going to be frozen.
Yeah, because they'll have spent 10 years. Kerr, you and Jen, can you imagine someone coming in with a resume and then they have a 10-year gap? And you got, what did you do? I was on TikTok for 10 years.
Can you imagine someone in their late 20s rolling in? Okay, did you go to school? No. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Or whatever. Okay, well, what have you been doing the last 10 years? Finding yourself. I mean, it was, when you graduated high school, you either went to work or you went to school or you went to military. Those were the 3 options, right? And I even know when I graduated college, I knew friends of mine who had families that had money. It was like, well, I'm going to go backpack Europe. My dad wants me to backpack across Europe and really kind of get some life lessons. I had a buddy of mine who went to China for several months.
That'd be neat.
Actually, it was pretty cool. And then they come back, but I was like, okay, I graduated college. Hey, what are you going to do? I'm going to get a job. Okay, well, here's my goal, political science. I want to be a cop. I got to take the social, whatever that, the
exam.
test.
Yeah.
It's
civil
service exam. And then you have to take the police exam, state police exam. State police is on a hiring freeze. What are you going to do? And you see so many people now that it's like, well, I want to get this job. I'm going to wait until something opens up. I was like, well, I have student loans that are coming up in the next 6 months. So I have to work. So I have to find a job that someone's going to hire me and pay me, because then I have these things called bills I have to pay. And then I lived at my dad's, I think May, June. I lived with my dad for 6 months after I graduated. And after 6 months, it was when I had the first 3 months I had this job working in a center where it was a housing for adults with special needs. And then I got a job with Enterprise. And as soon as I got a job from Enterprise, I was working 40 hours. It was like a month later. It was like, I'm getting my own place. Check you later. And that was the last that I've ever seen of living at home. was 6 months past after. And my dad even told me when I got home, he's like, you got a year to find a place. I'll give you a year to get a job and find a place. It's like, all right.
Yeah, now they're coming home. What they say, 25, 26 is like that age, to where like 90%, whatever, some ungodly high number of that age group is still or has moved back home with like no plans of leaving.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
It just I moved out when I was 18, and I owned my own first house when I was 20. You just worked. And
no ambition.
No ambition, and and student loans are killing people. I definitely don't think just erasing the debt is the solution. I think that's asinine. And a lot of there are the ones that did fraudulent colleges. I understand that, but when you went and just got a bullshit degree and you racked up $150,000 worth of debt. I don't know. There's something wrong with that. Just expect it to be paid off by the government.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, schools are more expensive now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I'm also interested in seeing the cost of schooling, the increase. Is it at parity with the cost of everything else?
Yeah, is
right?
it proportional?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? If freaking when I was in school, if gas was at 99 cents and it's $4 now, a loaf of bread was 75 cents. It's this much now. Whatever. Cars were 5,000. Now they're this now. Is your education in line with everything else? And I'd have to say yes. It's unfortunate, but I'd have to say yes. I mean, cars. I saw an advertisement for the new Jeep Wagoneer starting at $89,000.
Crazy.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yes, 7-year loans. And there's one manufacturer that I just read that are doing 10-year, and it's just the one doing 10-year loans.
It's absurd. But see, people are willing to take a 10-year loan on a $90,000 freaking SUV that they don't need, but yet they piss and moan for taking out a freaking 10-year loan on a $90,000 loan for your education.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe either I need to educate myself more or just stand my ground more, but I don't get too terribly heartbroken and feel bad for folks in that situation because it's the reality. I mean, when I went to school, I paid for about 75% of my own schooling through student loans.
Yeah.
Now, my school, obviously, it was the late 80s and in the 90s. I was lucky enough when I went to school, my freshman year was the last year they did tuition freezes. So when I came in, my tuition was X amount. It was that amount every year. Everybody's else would go up, right? So I was the last year we had tuition freeze. But I went to a private school. I went to a small school. It wasn't cheap. And I paid freaking student loans back for 10 years. I did. It took me 10 years. It was a 10-year loan,
Sorry. Am I hearing the dog or are you playing with something? Like I'm hearing like.
I had my little cigar prop. I was I didn't even realize that I'm what
is that noise in the background? Your dog was chewing on something underneath the desk.
I'm
just clicking.
I'm a pen clicker. I'm a whatever. I'm a fidgeter. So
you need a
we definitely have to do something.
A trash panda fidget spinner. Yeah. Bring them back.
Because I've got I got one right here.
I don't like to pop it, so don't bring that out.
No, I got an Asylum 13 fidget spinner, but each 3 is a different size cigar punch.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
well, and it's a fidget spinner and it's a
I
cigar
like that.
punch.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's a really good one too. Yeah, it's a cigar punch. So, but yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they got to do something about the interest rates, and I know it's crazy. You hear some of these stories. These people have I've been paying $500 a month for my student loans. It's 5 years later, and I owe more money than I originally took out, and I don't know enough to make a comment, but
well, a lot of people what they'll do is you can defer your first 6 months.
Oh, can you?
Right. And then throughout the life of your loan, you can take deferments, but your interest is still going to accrue. So if you're like, man, I just lost my job 5 years into my student loans being paid off, I got to defer for like 3 months so I could find another job because I can't pay it. They'll say, no problem, fine. But those 3 months, your interest is going to still be freaking building. So that's what ends up. That's one thing I definitely know that kills people, especially with larger loans, is that interest still, you're still gaining interest, and it still gets rolled back into the loan when you defer. And there's some folks where they'll defer several times throughout the life of the loan, and a 10-year loan or your 10-year loan ends up turning into 13, 14 years because of all the various deferments along the way. You know, I think my loan ended up taking me 11 years because I deferred to 6 months. And then I think something else, but I didn't defer. I think it was the first time, or maybe I deferred one other time for like 2 or 3 months. But it was that period of time it had taken me to pay off my student loans.
Yeah.
But I know that there are colleges out there. I think it was Duke University. And they said Duke University has that much money and that much money coming in that they could stop charging tuition now and never charge tuition again and still have enough money to freaking be operational run.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, we just saw a show. It's a new show on history. It's Booze, Bets, and Sex That Built America. One of those, same as the Titans. I didn't know Duke University. You know who it was named after? No. I forget the guy's name. Duke is his. It's a tobacco company. At one time, he was I think wealthier than the Rockefeller. You know, and end up being the largest tobacco company in the world.
It's kind of anticlimactic. Hey, you know Duke University's named after? No, neither do I.
Yeah. I forget the name, but it was a tobacco company. You know, super.
Well, I mean, shit. When you talk about all this shit being built back then, and you talk about the big names, the titans of industry back in the day. But that's the thing is
Washington Duke.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's just priorities. And I mean, we talk about different business now that, you know, can't function because of the lack of employees, because people don't want to work. You know, like you said, I mean, that people making money. And if I'm living at home, I'm not paying rent. Mom's freaking doing my laundry, paying my freaking and making me meals. And I'm making freaking 15 grand a year, 20 grand a year, dicking around on a computer or whatever the case may be. There's no incentive. There's no incentive. But I know from my perspective, and I think this is another problem that ends up happening, is there's no fear. Like, there is no fear of, like, my dad telling me, you got a year to get a job and get out of the house. And it's that simple. I knew my dad was serious. Did the same thing with my brother. You know, you have X amount of time to get a job and get out of the house. And you knew after you freaking, I wanted to get out of the house just as bad as he wanted me out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, but now if you try and incorporate tough love, if you try and incorporate structure, if you try and incorporate any type of freaking risk, reward, or punishment, then you have this big whiny freaking generation of, oh my gosh, I'm being abused. I got to see a therapist. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're talking like that. Do you know exactly how that makes me feel? Oh my gosh, it kills my self-esteem. Oh, it does this, that. But why? Because I'm holding you accountable?
Yeah.
Because everyone else around you who is now bought into this freaking BS is all they're doing is they're enabling you to be a freaking weaker person. So when someone does hold you accountable, you fold like a cheap lawn chair because you don't understand what it's like.
Yeah.
They don't think they're ever going to be called out. You know,
and when they are called out, they want to freaking, oh, you're just shaming me. Oh, I can't believe. No, I'm not shaming you. It's called fucking reality. It's called
Be
the way it
accountable for
is.
your actions.
Be accountable. If you know what? For every action, there's a reaction. And if your action is no action, then the reaction is going to be you're going to have nothing.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I don't, and it's definitely, you know, the rise of the internet. You know, you got to blame it on something. That has to be it. That has to be it. You know, absolutely insane.
I think it's that. I think I blame my generation, our generation of parents, because so many of them, you know, their parents were tough. They were hard at. It was like, I'll never be like that with my
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
So
Give
now
them everything they possibly
so
could
now
want.
you
Yeah.
have this generation who we didn't have money. We had to work our asses off for it. We didn't do this. So now you want to give your kids everything you didn't have. And then you want to be their friends because, you know, if my dad would have just talked to me, or if my mom would have just been a little bit more friendly, or if they would have just asked about this or asked about that, maybe, well, you know what? Get off the therapy fucking couch, because, you know, I look back on it. I'm like, yeah, my dad wasn't my friend because my dad was my dad.
Yeah.
You know? And my dad used to tell me, we're not friends. We'll be friends when you're older and you're an adult. You know, there's a hierarchy here. It's the way it is. So I blame our generation of parenting that wants to be their kids' friends. They want to give them everything they didn't have. And then what ends up happening is you just have an entitled generation of kids who
Little snot-nosed jerks.
Exactly. And, you know, and even I even blame my generation for, because, you know, what's funny is now that we're all older, now we're going to be like, yeah, we're Generation X, man. I drank from a water. I do it. He drank from a water hose, and I ate, you know, we didn't have phones, and bikes at the house, how we knew friends. Well, you know what? If you would have incorporated some of that when you were raising your kid, maybe you wouldn't have this whole freaking whiny generation.
Yeah.
Because what you have is you have these kids that are just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to question everything. And you know, because you gave me everything, and even everyone gets a trophy, right?
The participation
I still
award
think that's
is like nails on a chalkboard.
but I think that's a byproduct of, like, my generation was, hey, yeah, you're 11. Yeah, we have a roster of 20 kids. There's 25. 5 of you ain't making a team.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. We're not gonna have a bench warmer, and then
see you next year,
and you still get the trophy at the end of the season.
See you next year. Hey, you know what? We're gonna have starters because they're the best players on the team. Yes, you had your freaking parents that freaking played their kids. You have that. You're gonna have that. This is the way it is. Nepotism lives. It's just the way it is. But if the best kids played, hey, why are you a bench warmer? Because you're not a good player. I remember soccer. It was like fucking soccer. I was 12. You go up, you look at your name on a sheet. Your name's not on the sheet, or your name was, I think it was jerseys were put out. Your names were on the jerseys. I had to look through. I don't see my name on a jersey. Guess what? You didn't make the team.
Yeah. Not now. Everybody that signs up,
there's cuts.
Everybody makes the team.
Everybody's got to play equal time.
Yeah. Oh, though the equal time thing. Yeah. That's
I'm
just
like,
yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, you know, again, you know, we probably grew up going, man, I remember freaking not making a soccer team. That really hurt. You know what? I don't think that's really fair to kids. I think every kid should get an opportunity. No, you know, just carry on that freaking, you know, that tradition of here's the team and we're going to cut some people and you're not going to make the team. And
not everyone's good at everything.
If you don't make the team, I remember, I think it was 7th grade. I went out for my middle school basketball team, and the coaches cut me. And my dad was pissed. And I went and I played at another league that was kind of like Cedar Crest. Because I went to a Catholic school. Cedar Crest is a public school. They would have like an intramural gig going on for kids who didn't make the high school basketball teams or the middle school basketball teams. They had intramural league.
Yeah.
So I played intramural league for a year, and I got better. I actually got better because I played with other kids from other schools who also were pretty decent, and kids didn't make it for whatever reason. Whether they were troublemakers, or they didn't have good grades, or they just were not that good. It was a mixture of talent, and I got better, and then ended up playing 8th grade and did well. But I got cut 7th grade. I didn't make my 7th
That's
grade
why it's
team.
called the competition.
That's it.
Not everyone wins.
Michael Jordan, he got cut.
Yeah.
You think Michael Jordan? I mean, that's the thing. It's like everyone gets a jersey. Everyone gets to play. Everyone gets a shirt. If your parents can pay for your shirt, you can get it. What number do you want?
That's it.
Well, the 12's already taken, but we'll have 2 12s. It's okay.
Yeah. My dad will sponsor the team, and that'll get you on.
No, it's sad, and I like I said, I think I think it's a lot of good ideas just executed horribly.
I don't think it's a good idea at all.
I'm not saying that. I said I think in general there's a lot of good ideas just executed horribly. I think that if you are going to have a like what we had, if you're going to have kids who are getting cut from their team, they had another outlet, another avenue to play the sport.
Yeah, that's what intramural is.
And I think
where
that
you go
was
to the
important.
Y and
I played at the YMCA too. I played a year at the YMCA.
Yeah, I don't even think they even have that anymore. It's it's mainly because everybody makes the team, I guess.
Well, I played the YMCA my junior year, and it was my junior year in high school. I got kicked off the team. I had a little bit.
Ys are still pretty
bit of a
popular
temper problem
in South
back then.
Carolina.
Yeah.
We actually have 3 large ones in Greenville County.
Yeah.
And they have all intramural sports and
really?
They have adult leagues. Like I have a couple coworkers, and this just makes me laugh. So if you guys are watching, it is funny. You have to admit it. They're on an adult kickball league. And
it's kind of cool.
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
One of my coworkers had to have major knee surgery because of a kickball injury.
Oh, God.
That wouldn't be something I'd admit.
Yeah.
That's like saying, hey, I'm in a wiffle ball league. I got to get my shoulder operated on.
My dad played co-ed softball, and then when he got older, he couldn't really play. Then he church softball.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that until he was almost 60, and then it was like, and then like the injuries were just, nothing major, but you just didn't recover.
It's nagging injuries like that.
Yeah, so now he plays since they moved into the mobile, the really nice mobile home park that has
maybe they could do adult parachute.
Yeah, they do
run underneath
pickleball, or they do whatever,
Is that what is that?
I don't fucking know.
What's pickleball?
I can't remember. I can't remember if it's like handball.
Is it something
You gotta look it up.
Yeah,
look it up. Look it up.
It sounds like something that like Pickle Rick, like you got it from Rick and Morty.
Or that, or is it the pickleball is like bocce ball?
I thought it was. Yeah, I don't know. But you know what though? See, I was never a big softball guy. Like my brother played baseball in high school. He played baseball in college, and he played softball. He loves playing softball. I get it. Softball league.
It's
beer
like
league.
paddleball with wiffle balls.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And there's like a net, so it's a paddleball racket with a wiffle ball.
It's like playing large freaking
horrific.
ping pong. Like
it is.
Yeah, with like
a tennis net.
Yeah, with like okay.
I've never heard
like
of that.
standing on a freaking ping pong.
Wow, that
table.
must be horrible. You wind up and hit it, and the ball barely goes because it's a wiffle ball. You just listen for it.
I think that, but I again, I played YMCA basketball junior year, and like you said, there's kickball. I mean, I think that shit is just. It's like people can't understand that. That's, in my opinion, overcoming adversity or elevating yourself and being challenged. I went out for a sport. I didn't make the team. I really liked this sport. I went out and I played elsewhere. And I came back and I made the team.
I think if they're a bad sport or if they have issues and they're kids or they're just really whiny, you need to throw them into a dodgeball team and just toughen them up. That'd be great.
No, that's child abuse now.
No.
Trying to, no, anything trying to toughen up your child.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
trying.
yeah.
Oh yeah. You go out and mow the lawn. If your neighbor
You
sees
yelled at me.
Yeah.
Remember that time you yelled at me?
Yeah. If your neighbor sees your kid mowing the lawn crying, they're gonna call child services.
Yeah.
And he's abusing his kid. His kid's out there crying, mowing the grass.
Yep. You yelled at me. You
Yeah.
you did something in front of people and you embarrassed me. Yeah, it was freaking toughen up. I mean, because that's what it does. I mean, I just get so wound up, especially when it comes to sports, about this because everybody's got to make the team. They don't have cuts, and then what happens is when you do get faced with the realities of that, it's even harder. Like when you're faced with the realities of how the working world is, when you get faced with the realities of how real athletics are, it's a shock to the environment. If you went through your whole fucking life playing on the orange team, and then you actually get into high school where it's more competitive, where you're either a bench warmer or you didn't make the team or whatever the case may be, that's a tough transition.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It annoys me. It was a very annoying day. You go to Publix. I actually drove. Publix, not close to our house.
I'm gonna go get another beer while Jen freaking vents her.
Kevin understands this. So there's two Publix really close to us. One is brand new up near us, but I don't like the layout. The layout of the store is quite horrible. So I went to one that's like 8 minutes from us, which is a beautiful layout. It's a brand new store. Get everything, nice shopping experience. And because it's so ungodly hot already this morning, I brought an insulated bag with me to put the seafood and the beef in. Because even though I wasn't driving very far, it's hot in the freaking vehicle, especially if I put it back. So I go to check out. Clearly, you can see what I have. I specifically say this bag is for the meat and seafood. So I'm really not paying attention. And, I hate that still the cashiers have to look at every single thing you buy. I just want to get out of the store. So, and I go
how do they bring it up unless they check everything that you have?
No, like they literally will swipe it and then read what it is. I can't tell you how many times they've named items of like, oh, is this good? And then they want to have a conversation about it. I don't want a conversation about it. Like, I just want to pay for my food. I don't care that you want to know about Taylor ham.
Yeah.
Kev, you're not going to get a word in. She's on a roll.
I didn't know that we carried this. Where'd you find this? I don't know.
Oh, is this good?
Hey, do you like this? No, I fucking hate it. That's why I bought 3 of them.
Yeah. So I go
or the old ladies. The old ladies will look at all your ingredients and be like, oh, you making a cake?
Yeah. Well, that was me at the deli. I'm making a pasta salad tomorrow
morning.
I'm
cutting pure cocaine.
For me, I'd asked for chunk salami. And obviously, if I go to the pre-cut, it's all sliced. So I went to the deli. I said, I just want a pound of salami. Cut it as a chunk because I want to cube it to put into a salad tomorrow. Well, what are you making? I said, a pasta salad. Well, it doesn't sound like a pasta salad. I didn't tell you this one. Just cut the fucking salami. I want to pay for it. And I have to add provolone into it because you annoyed me. This was the start of it. I didn't buy my chunk provolone. I bought slice.
You were salad shamed today.
So that started the whole, but then I got over it because I, decided I was like, wow, steaks aren't looking very good and they're expensive, but wow, look at this prime rib roast. I'm going to do a prime rib roast for 4th of July. So it got better until checkout. I get out to the Bronco and it's so freaking hot and humid. Open up the back. I grab a regular Publix bag. There's the freaking prime rib roast. The other bag has the shrimp and crawfish in it. Motherfuckers, you did not put it in the refrigerated bag. Guess what's in there? Blueberries, strawberries, 15 ears of corn. Why does that need to be in there? Just do your job.
Oh my God.
They thought you meant the fruit basket, the fruit bag.
I don't know. I was just like, Publix, I hold you at a higher level. I didn't go to Food Lion. I didn't go to Ingles, even though Ingles is better now. I didn't go to Aldi's because I bag my own now, even though their quality's gotten better.
I used to hate Ingles.
Well, the new ones are better, but there's still some gross ones.
And then we go to
Home Depot.
Then we go to Home Depot, which was just
I hate our Home Depot. They hide from you. They hide from
They
you.
didn't hide.
not only that, but it's like so. We walk in.
It was hot,
and I'm already. It's hot in there, and and Jennifer's getting mad at me. But I have like this system. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do?
I wanted to look at ceiling fans, but I had in my hand the carpet.
I'm not because I know I will need to get tools, and the tools are all the way over there. So she says, I want to look at ceiling fans, and she had already mentioned earlier about going to see carpets. But again,
wanted to check up on the one that we ordered on May 27th.
So we go look at ceiling fans. Oh, we start walking down through, and she said, "I go, well, let's go look at ceiling fans. Well, let's get the tools." I'm like, I don't want to lug the tools all around because over there are the tools right by checkout. I want to do what we got to do, grab the tools, get the fuck out.
But good thing I did do what I did, or else we wouldn't have known that our carpet was never ordered 5 weeks later.
That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Because that was the original plan. So we go look at the fans, then we go down and look at the tools. So I'm like, my freaking wireless drill's on its last leg. I've had it for years. I need one of those freaking multi-tools that it always reminds me of like the freaking saws they take your cast off with. They oscillate.
Oh, yeah.
I need one of those. Oh, here's bag Ryobi on sale. Freaking, you get a drill, you get that reciprocating saws. Like
I know, I need to get one of those. I don't have one.
Which
one?
Sale.
Yeah, what is the name of those?
Oscillating.
It's
oscillating. It's called a multi-tool, an oscillating multi-tool.
Yeah, is it oscillate? I thought oscillating goes in a circle. Is it back and forth?
No, it's back and forth.
It goes back and forth. It's got Sanders. So I'm like, I want to pick up this box. She's like, okay, now let's go look at carpet. Let's go talk to the carpet people. I'm like, we're just there. So we'll just leave the box. I'm like, no. So we go back.
We walked past where he got it. He could have just put the box down. And we could have picked it up on the way out.
But there was like 20 there. I thought maybe that 20 people would come in and buy them. So we go up, and
Toothless is there.
Toothless Trudy, or Tammy, sorry. And she actually took our order, and then I put down the thing, and I'm sitting there by the carpets, and I hear Jen go, Kerr, come here. And I'm like, fucking, this is not good.
Yeah.
When I hear that fucking voice yell from across, I'm like,
it was complete Jersey.
And I'm like, what?
As I'm staring
she's
up at
saying we didn't pay.
Ceiling.
We paid for the carpet. And I go, yes, we did pay for the carpet. And she's like, I'm showing you didn't pay for it.
And it's not ordered.
So Jen's like, doing her looking through I go, it was a credit card, debit card. So she's looking for it. So then I hop on. And then
Toothless is like, we have to now go up to customer service.
I hop on. It's like, okay, search our bank account, HOME. So, here it is.
Very fragile.
On the 27th, and Jen's over there scrolling. I go, there's a that little magnifying glass. All you gotta do is type in whatever. So I'm like, yes, here we do. We paid it. We gotta go up front. I don't know how to do this. I'm like, okay. So we go up front, and we're sitting there, and there's a line of motherfuckers.
And I walk right up.
And Jen walks right up, and this lady goes, "Excuse me, ma'am.
The line's
back there."
I said, "Oh, I know. She has my paperwork."
And then the lady walks up, and the lady who said that to Jen, and then the one chick's helping her out, she walks away, and the lady starts talking to me, and she was nice, and I said,
she was nice.
And I said, yeah, we weren't cut in front of you. I said, they fucked up our carpet order in the back and brought us up front. She's like, hey, they do the same thing with my countertops.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. And she started going through all the shit. I'm like, yeah. So we kind of got a chuckle out of it. So Toothless Tammy then gets freaking old Trudy.
Well, at this point,
and
there's like dead silence, and they're not saying anything.
They're just typing.
Kerr goes, here, go pay for the tools.
Yes, I'm like, just pay for the fucking tools.
Yeah,
because I can tell she's like freaking boiling over. I'm like, just go pay for the tools. I'll wait. So then Steve, the manager, comes over, the store manager, and he's like that. Then he's sitting there, and they're going back and forth. Well, they measured it, but they didn't charge it. Well, they measured it, but they didn't charge it. Yeah, they measured it, but they didn't charge it. But, and I finally go, excuse me, what's going on? And the guy goes, well, they came out, ROB, HD came out. They measured everything, and then we weren't notified of charge. And he's like explaining to me everything that happened. I said, but it's in your system as paid, right? He's like, yes, sir. I go, and who is this? Blah blah blah. HD goes, well, it's our company, Home Depot. I said, so it's a Home Depot company, came out, made all the measurements, and then charged us, and it's in your system as paid, but you didn't order it. And he goes, yes, there's an issue within our system that we have to work on. He goes, where it was not communicated. And I'm like, okay. And then Tammy's over there freaking running her fucking mouth.
Literally like two teeth.
I mean, just like
one top, one bottom.
She reminded me of Bobby Clark, like they missed all their front teeth from hockey. And she's running her mouth. And then he's like, and I said, finally, I go, you know what? I said, the majority of customer service issues are easily remedied by the company starting off with, I'm sorry, sir. Let's get this thing worked out.
Yep.
I said, and I haven't heard I'm sorry from one person. I've heard it wasn't my fault. I heard it was this person. I heard it was they didn't do this and they should have done that. The computer system. I've heard every excuse in the book, and I'm still going to be waiting another 4 weeks. And freaking
thank God I was in the car.
I did not. And then the freaking manager was like, gave the old, like, okay, like, chill. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. He goes, really? He goes, it's our fault. He goes, our system was not communicating, and we have a problem with that. He goes, we got to address it. He goes, but on Monday, we're going to have our purchase order person come in. They're going to be ordering it, and then once it gets in, it'll take 7 to 10 days. We'll contact you and we'll talk to you about refunds.
I'll believe it when
and I
see
said,
it.
Okay, great. So in 7 to 10 days, then we can set up to have them come in and install. He goes, yeah. I said, what do you mean refunds? He goes, we're gonna help you out because of the issue you went through. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what's funny is I can't remember the percentage. It's something like 80%. 80% of the time, a company doesn't have to give shit away for free.
Yeah.
If they just start off with, you know what? Oh my God, I am so sorry you're doing this. I'm so sorry you're going through this. You know what? Let me freaking escalate this. Let me take care of this because I want to make sure you're taken care of. You just say that, everything's diffused. If you come back and go, you know what? God, our system is screwed up. We're going to be looking into it, but the measurers came out. They measured. It was paid for. It didn't register in our system. It didn't prompt us to order it. I am so sorry about that. Guarantee a majority of people are going to be like, you know what? It's not a problem. It's not your fault. It's the system. I appreciate it. But when you come off with, you didn't pay for it. We're not showing that you paid for it. We didn't order it because you didn't pay for it. Oh, you did pay for it. It's the people who measured it's fault. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to go check with this person. As soon as you start hearing that shit, the person across from you is going to get irritated. And when they start getting irritated, then it's like, okay, you know what? This is wasting more of my time. And that irritation will give that freaking illusion, and it will definitely enhance the annoyance of the amount of freaking inconvenience it's causing. And then you're like, you know what? I want fucking money off. I want this for free. And then that's when people start firing shit off.
Yeah.
And I
don't handle bad customer service well at all. Just because being in the medical industry, and granted, customer service should be the same wherever you are. That's the first thing you say. Even if I know the family or the patient is wrong, it does not matter. First thing, I'm sorry. Let's look into this, and we will see what we can do to remedy this. Like, it's just, that's all they want to hear is, I'm sorry. We will.
In the automotive industry, we're taught, I'm sorry. What can I do to make this
exactly?
Okay? And then you always want to leave it in their court, even if they don't have, all the cards. You want to make them think they do, because then they're happy. And but if I need to get something at Home Depot, we just order it online ahead of time, and then I just go to the locker. I go up front. I hate dealing with Home Depot employees. Lowe's is fantastic. I love Lowe's.
Yeah.
I just go in there and find my stuff. Last time, one of the times I had problems at Home Depot, went in there. My work gloves, I buy 20 or 30 pair a year, and they're the only ones that carry this one style. But they're like in these big bins, and they always are different parts of the store.
Right.
So if you're shopping, whatever. Oh, hey, I need gloves. So they're never in the same spot. So I go down the store, and I get on my app. I find out what aisle they're in today, and I go down that aisle. They're not there. So I go up to the front. I'm like, hey, I need these gloves. Can you tell me, where they're at? And then she looks up. She goes, oh, we're out of them. And I go, well, your app says literally you have 600 pair. Well, it must be a mistake in the inventory. Like 600.
Yeah.
Oh, I got another Home Depot thing that started this whole thing.
Yeah. So we don't have them. Well, can you call me? I know they're in another part of the store. No, we're all out of them. So I leave the customer service area and right next to the patio furniture. So I go sit down on a patio couch and I place the order on the app. And I probably waited 20 minutes. Some guy came up front with my gloves, and then they put them in the bag, stapled the thing. Lady was about to take them out to the lockers. And then I just went up there and I go, yeah, those are my gloves. The same lady. And then I never said a word. Yeah, I'm like, she wouldn't even get on the little walkie. No help at all. And I'm like, I'm not, fuck it.
Well, when we were looking at the ceiling fans, we were across from customer service. In the corner of my eye, I see the giant boxes for Halloween. Oh. That's the 12-foot skeleton I have seen. They're freaking awesome. And to have them in Tilden Woods would be freaking fantastic. This giant 12-foot skeleton back there.
I'd leave it up year round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
in the woods? Oh,
yeah. That's what
it would be
do.
fantastic. Yeah. So I go up. I'm like, let's see how much they are. I go up. Customer service desk I'm at. Not just a random person with a Home Depot.
This is a different customer service. A young girl with purple
young
hair.
Girl. I said, can you tell me the 12-foot skeletons, how much they are? It just, it was like she didn't know how to speak.
She's on the computer. She's like,
but the boxes are right behind you. I can see the boxes.
They're not in our system, and we don't have the boxes that are right behind you.
They're right there.
Oh, those? Yeah. Wait.
I can see them.
I don't think she put a coherent sentence together.
I should have known at that point
like,
we were done for.
Have a great day. And then
I still don't know how.
And then I'm like, I need to get some extra blades for the freaking oscillating multi-tool. So, of course, Home Depot. It's like to find someone. It's whenever you find employees. Yeah. Employees are either, like you said, hiding from you, or they're having a conversation about something they don't want to be bothered. So I catch this guy. I'm like, kid. I go, excuse me, sir. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm looking for blades for this oscillating multi-tool. And he's like, oh yeah, it's down there at the number off. And I'm like, where? He goes, yeah, follow me. They're right there. So we come walking. I'm following him, and he looks, and I'm like, yeah, I looked there already, buddy. It's not there. I'm thinking to myself, and then he goes walking by. He's just kind of casually strolling. I look at Jen. I go, am I supposed to keep following him? Like I don't know where this man's going. So this kid goes up into the lumber aisle. I thought he said number aisle, lumber aisle.
Yeah, we were back in lumber.
Here you go. And it's this reciprocating blade saw, and I'm like, no, I didn't say.
At least he tried. I give him more credit.
Okay, that's the same as giving someone a fucking
participation award.
A participation award.
If I had to rank what happened at Home Depot,
and today. I go, no, I said it's the blades for the reciprocating or for the oscillating multi-tool. He's like,
so I went on to Home Depot to
and then he just kind of like gets this blank stare in his face. I'm like, I'll go look for it. You have a great day. Like I'm like I'll leave it. If I need to explain to you what I'm looking for and you don't know, the odds of you knowing where it is and that circular logic is just going to freaking drive you up the wall. By the way,
they're by the Dremel stuff.
I pulled that. So we walked down through. We found it by the Dremel tools. All right, great. Got them. Pop it in there. And it worked great.
Yeah, it was our Home Depot used to be stocked, not like the cashiers, but there was a like the old guys that worked like in the different departments, and there was only one guy left. One of the old guys, he was a retired electrician. only works there part-time now, knows everything about electrician. But there was an older guy, I think his name was either Floyd or Vincent, an old plumber, like 107 years old. I love the guy. Grumpiest motherfucker ever. I used to hate having to go talk to him, but he knew everything about everything. So when we were putting in our dishwasher, because the kitchen was originally built without one, and I looked up online all the tools I needed, the little trap with the little side thing, and I needed this and that. And so I can't find the one piece. So I saw him on one of the aisles. I'm like, God damn it. So I had to go over there, and I'm like, hey, I'm, I need this piece. He's like, well, what are you doing? One of those. I'm like, I'm putting in a dishwasher, and looks at my cart, and he goes, oh, that's wrong. So he takes my cart from me, and he's going down the aisle, and he puts this thing in here. He puts this thing in here. And then like the piece I needed, he had like a different one. He puts that in the cart. I'm like, no, I don't need that one. I need the one with like, he looks at me, he goes, oh, who's doing this job here? And I'm like, well, I am, and then he explained, he goes, here's what you're going to do. And then he goes, you're going to assemble this. You're going to do this, make sure that this comes in a loop. And he goes, and then I got everything home, still not believing him, got it all. I'm like, motherfucker, he was right. Everything I would have got everything. But he's a great old guy. He knows everything about plumbing, but he's just so bitter. But he's just one of those guys.
I'd rather deal with a bitter, miserable, knowledgeable person than
so
friendly, clueless fucking fawn.
Literally, she was just like, I really wanted to go behind the counter and be like, the boxes are right there. It's a 12-foot fucking skeleton. It's a really big box, and there was 4 of them.
I was like, just turn around, take 5 steps.
Yeah. Did you get one?
No.
How?
She fucking know.
You saw that? She never even with the.
She did not put a coherent sentence together.
The only thing I see, which actually is pretty cool on the Home Depot website, is the faceless Slender Man, which is 12 foot as well. So that'd be pretty cool for the. But I want the skeleton.
Because our skeleton's out front year round. It's been up for 4 years now.
A 12-foot skeleton.
We had Mr. Bones.
We had
Bones that was year round too.
Yeah, it was 6 foot. Yeah, he's starting to get a little moldy, and he's getting black from the dirt. Now he's looking badass. It'll scare the shit out of you.
He's looking like a real fucking skeleton. Our Mr. Bones I got at a CVS years ago. Post Halloween for like $20.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he's like a 7-foot freaking vampire skeleton with his freaking top hat, the whole get up, and he's motion sensor. So I remember when I first got him, I put him in the freaking walk-in closet, the old place. And when you open it up, he's like, welcome. And his eyes light up red. And he starts, his jaw moves and shit. He's in storage now, but he's just nothing but pipes. So his pants ripped and they fall down. But I'll never forget, in our old place, we had the cul-de-sac and I had the garage door open. And I'm at work one day and I hear this freaking blood-curdling scream. And I look up and it was one of our neighbors who does the loop through the cul-de-sac walking. She was on the phone talking and she looked up and saw Mr. Bones and it scared the shit out of her.
I had that when I was doing a private security, and there's one in Sarasota. It's called the Field Club, and it's where all the rich old people go, and it's just like a country club. But it was like founded when Sarasota was founded, like 125 years ago. Haunted. I knew it was haunted. You just always get that creepy, So my tour coming through there was like 1 a.m. And I had to check all the locks. And I remember it was right after Halloween. And they had a skeleton in one of the storage rooms. They hadn't put him away yet. And I shined my flashlight in there and that hit that. And, I thought I almost died. It was rough.
I don't believe in ghost hauntings.
No, you don't.
No? It's real. We have one. Wyatt talks to the ghost in his room. Yeah, without a doubt.
I hear the whole thing with kids and the whole like
How does he describe him? Like, what does he say, or what is
he's not able to, and that's the problem. With like the Down syndrome, so he's not able to like articulate. Right. But when he's in there and he's just looking up and he's like kind of having this Down syndrome conversation with this ghost, and it just freaks me out every time. So I remember, like I said, I only had to leave the house the one time, and when that was my office, his room, back when I lived here with my ex-wife Beth, and sitting in there, and then one of my cups that is on like this cornice that I built had fallen off, and it's a 5-inch lip on this cornice. Like it can't fall off. I mean, it's impossible. It's the majority of the cup was below the lip, and it fell off, and it bounced, and it hit the ground and tumbled. And I looked at it, and I just left. I bet I was gone for a couple hours. Didn't. No, it was like there's no possible way.
I was watching things like, oh, this kid, he said, hey, who's the little girl in the corner, and this little girl in the corner, and then my wife.
Yeah, but you're religious though. Don't you? Do you guys have ghosts and saints? Same thing. Ghosts, apparitions.
Let's rewind there for a second.
Yeah.
All right. Being religious or having faith or belief, does not mean you automatically believe in ghosts. All right.
The Holy Spirit.
I don't. Yeah. And there's a difference between someone who's religious and follows a religion.
Yeah. That's you guys.
Are you there, Kev?
Yeah, you were like mid.
Both. We both on my end, both of us had spinning wheels.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Okay, on mine, I'm like, can you see me? And then you're like mid whatever. Okay.
No, we both had spinning wheels, and our internet was working. But no, I mean, what I mean, what's the genesis? Like, what's your basis of your question? Because
how could you not believe in ghosts? Because you're
I'm asking him, but his question was more like a I think there's seriousness behind it, but then there was that little bit of you're religious.
I mean, when the Virgin Mary appears before somebody, when Saint Michael or Saint Vincent appears and people talk, that's a ghost, essentially.
That's a whole nother show, Kevin.
Yeah, okay.
We're an hour and 40 minutes into this.
I think there is a difference between people that say are ghosts.
Well, yeah, I say most religious people believe in spirits.
Versus I believe like angels and or spirits of those who are kind of the C-level executives like Mary and Jesus and them. Yeah. I'm not dying tomorrow, and I'm not going to be a C-level exec like Ghost. But I also believe that there are demons, and I believe that there are and this is again my belief, but I believe a lot of what is being seen, I think, are demons that are trying to trick people. I think that's what it is. And I do believe that, I there's so many folks that'll say, I believe in reincarnation. I believe that there's this, but I don't believe in it. You can't have all upside. I'm sorry. We see enough freaking horrific shit in the world to know that there is evil. And if you believe that good in the world is generated or at least freaking given to us by the creator or whatever you want to believe, the evil part also has to have that freaking dark side too. And I believe that there is an evil force, and I do believe that they have demons that are out there to fuck with people. I do.
Yeah,
but I don't believe in ghosts like Mr. Randall used to live in his house and killed himself in the kitchen, and now, when I walk in to get milk, Mr. Randall's sitting there waving at me with a cup of coffee in his hand. No.
I was just watching a TikTok, and it was someone driving through a cemetery going to visit whoever, and they were in their Tesla, and it has like the pedestrian warning where it'll break for you if someone's crossing the road. And they were filming like the screen, and there were people on the screen, and then they show the screen, and there was nobody there. The car was picking up the spirits that were actually walking about at the cemetery, but they weren't visual picking it up. But the car was picking it up with its sonar radar.
But then that's the thing too. Is you go to a cemetery, they say there's spirits there. It's this, it's that. It's like, well, okay, hold on for a second. Is the spirit at the cemetery where they're buried, or are they at the house where they freaking once lived, or are they freaking haunting the person that they're? You can't. I don't buy it. It's just a little too much for me.
It can't be in more than one place. Is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
when you die, your spirit leaves. Where does it go?
What?
Where does it go?
Well,
does it break up into different areas? So
there's some people that believe that when you die, you go to heaven. If you die, you go to hell. Some people believe that, if you die angry or not ready to go to heaven, that you haunt the earth or whatever the case may be, or a spirit that's trapped here because you have to freaking be forgiven and don't go into the light, Carolyn, and all the other crap that you hear. And
Caroline,
there's a lot to unpack there. I don't claim to freaking own the patent on being right with that because, it's the afterlife, so no one really knows.
Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice. But I haven't seen anything that's like overly convincing when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen just that cup. That cup still haunts me.
Kevin in his cup.
I would love to do, because I think it would honestly scare the crap out of me, would be like an old hospital or like an insane asylum type of thing, just because pretty horrific things were done there.
I've got a pen on my desk that I made out of the it was the floorboards of like the country's oldest sanitarium, which is in like Kentucky, Tennessee, north whatever area. Yeah. So I bought some of the wood online, made a pen. Jessica was not happy that I made.
But you see, but Jessica likes antique jewelry, right?
Yeah.
So if you really want to get into this whole spirit thing, what happens if you freaking bought Jessica the ring of someone who is really evil?
Her ring is her ring's over 100 years old that she has that I bought.
Right.
Her. Yeah.
And what if it was freaking stolen and the freaking person who that ring was originally purchased for is still angry and looking for their stolen ring?
Yeah.
And knocking over cups.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe that's why she's been bitter since I gave it to her. No, it's
And on that note,
well, I'm just saying it's
like. All right. On that note, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm sorry.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr. And remember, bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.